Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you and welcome back. A big thanks to L'OR Coffee for sponsoring this video. The L'OR Barista system is a high-pressure artisan coffee and espresso system that uses 19 bars of pressure, creating a silky, perfect barista-quality crema with every cup. Now, crema is the result of coffee bean oil that's emulsified into your coffee or your espresso during the brewing process. It creates tiny little micro bubbles, and it is the signature of delicious, high quality coffee. And that can be difficult to achieve at home, but the L'OR Barista system makes it super simple, super easy to get that beautiful crema in every cup. So the L'OR Barista system is compatible with L'OR single serve coffee or espresso aluminum castles, and they are fully recyclable, and they're also compatible with other single serve aluminum capsules as well. So the L'OR Barista system gives you a lot of flexibility with creating different kinds of beverages. There are 6 different beverage sizes and lots of decadent flavors and roasts to choose from. You can also ensure that your capsules get recycled by ordering a free capsule recycling kit from lorcoffee.com. If you'd like to learn more about the L'OR Barista system or get one for yourself, please click the link down below. Big thanks to L'OR for sponsoring this video and allowing me to make better videos for all of you. So now that I can make a beautiful cup of espresso at home, I immediately got to thinking about a project that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. And if you've watched me for a little while, you know about it. And it is making homemade croissants. Now, I've talked about this before, but I've not gotten the gumption to actually tackle the process because it's quite intimidating. It is a very involved process. We're going to be creating a laminated dough. Laminated is a fancy word of saying we're creating layers of dough, butter, dough, butter, dough, butter, and that's what gives us that beautiful flakiness in a croissant. And I'm going to be testing and using Claire Saffitz recipe, which I printed out. She also has a wonderful, very, very thorough video, which I'll put a link down below too. And this has given me the confidence to tackle this recipe. I am not a pastry chef. I have not gone to pastry school, baking school, cooking school at all, but Claire gives you so much information. And in my experience, when a recipe offers you tons of information, it gives me the best opportunity at success. And Claire is very, very, very clear and thorough, and I love that. Claire, thank you so much for taking so much time and effort in guiding us to the path of homemade croissants. I'm super excited, slightly intimidated, but very confident that we can get this going. This is going to be my first attempt at making croissants. I'm going to be making the all butter, although we have a very wonderful soft spot for pain au chocolat or chocolatine, they're also called, but the chocolate stuffed version of a croissant. But let's tackle just the basic butter is the goal today. I remember watching cooking shows with my mother and my brother, and I very clearly remember seeing the process of lamination, and I remember distinctly the dough being poked a number of times to show the pastry maker how many times the dough had been turned. And I remember that poking process and always thinking, ooh, that's very cool. And someday I will try it. Well, today is the day. Alrighty, let's get to the dough making. Okay, in this bowl, I have some all-purpose flour. I'm going to add my sugar, kosher salt, dry active yeast. I'm gonna use my hook to kind of stir that in a little bit, create a well, our milk, and our water, which are both at room temperature. Now, for all of these ingredients, I have used a scale to weigh everything. Fit it with a dough hook. So we're gonna mix this on low for about 5 minutes until it creates a tight, kind of shaggy dough. As promised, 5 minutes, we have this. Kind of shaggy, not particularly beautiful, but this is the beginnings of our dough. And we're gonna let this rest for 10 minutes. Now we're going to place the bowl back into the mixer. On low speed once again, I'm going to incorporate some very cold butter. It's been a little over 10 minutes since I put the butter in with the dough, and I've allowed my machine to knead it up for me. Also, put all the butter in at one time. I showed you just putting a few pieces, dump it all in. So that's what I did after I read the directions again. And look at the difference in texture. Look at that. Smooth, stretchy, soft. So tuck all the ends under, get the surface nice and tight. Slash it down middle, and then this way. As this rises, it will kind of fold open, so it'll be easier for us to shape this into a square. And we're going to place it in the same bowl. We're going to cover it, and we're going to let this sit for 45 minutes or an hour, or until it increases about 1.5 times. Then we're going to place it in the refrigerator for at least 4 hours, up to 12 hours. So while our dough is resting, this is a great opportunity to make our butter block. This will be the butter that will create all those beautiful layers in our croissant. In a piece of parchment paper, side by side, fold this over loosely, and then we're going to turn it over like that. This is the noisy part. We're going to take our rolling pin and we're going to beat this butter down. The goal is to have a 1/2 inch slab. So brace yourselves. Here we go. We're going to reposition our parchment paper so that we can create an 8-inch square. I think this is an ingenious technique. We're going to use the parchment packet that we've just created as the borders, as the containment unit for this butter. We're going to shove and manipulate this butter into an even layer that makes a perfect 8-inch square. Ah, love it! Roll and coax. Now our butter is a little bit softer, and just coax it right into the edges and the corners, right? Oh, that's so great. I love this. I'm going to bend you to my will, but gently. Oh, look at that. Can you see that? The butter just going all the way into that corner. Ooh, look at that. Gorgeous square of butter. Now we're going to place this in the fridge so that it can be nice and solid. It's been 4 hours, and I took my dough out of the refrigerator, patted it down to degas it, and then I wrapped it in plastic wrap in 2 directions until it made an 8 by 8 square. Then I took my rolling pin and I rolled the dough just like I did with the butter and got it into the corners so I had nice square corners. And then I placed my little block of dough in the freezer for 20 minutes. It's time for the dough to meet the butter. Using just a little bit of flour and working quickly because we want to keep this dough nice and cold, we're going to roll it out to about 18 inches. Pushing forward and back rather than pushing down. Try to keep things square. Look how beautiful that butter is. Flip it. Isn't that gorgeous? Peel it back. Beautiful. Fold the flaps over. Now, if we don't have quite enough, we can push and tug until they meet. Go around the edges on both sides and pinch the seam here too. Make sure to rub off any excess flour. I've rotated it 90 degrees so that the seam is now vertical. But we're going to try to keep it narrow. Just stretching it and then making sure it doesn't stick, lifting it up, applying even pressure, trying to keep it square. Now it should be about 1/4 inch thick. Now we're going to straighten things out. Fold this into a book. We're going to have it meet in the middle. Have this one meet in the middle as well. Dust off any excess flour. Fold that in half. And that is our book. That looks beautiful. I'm so thrilled about how this is turning out. Okay, now we're going to wrap it in plastic. Make sure that's 1.5 inches in thickness. Oh, perfect. Freeze this for 15 minutes. Refrigerate for 1 hour. Then I'm going to roll this out into a 1/3 inch slab. Then I'm going to fold it into thirds, like a letter. And then we're going to wrap it again, freeze it for 15 minutes, refrigerate for 1 hour. And then on a lightly floured surface, we're going to beat the dough out as before, gently, maintaining a rectangle to a 14 by 17 inch slab. Wrap tightly in plastic, freeze for 20 minutes, and then refrigerate for at least 8 to 12 hours. Alrighty, lovelies, welcome back. Today is part 2 of making croissants. This is the dough that I prepped yesterday, did much of the work yesterday. Today we're going to just be shaping, proofing, and then baking and tasting, my favorite part. So now we want to make our rectangle precisely 16 inches long. Now we're going to cut these into 4-inch sections. So I now have the 4 rectangles, and now we're going to cut each rectangle into 2 right triangles. Whoop. Oh, this is so great. I'm so excited about this. Okay, Claire recommends cutting off just the littlest sliver off the bottom here to square this up so you have an isosceles triangle. That means the 2 sides of the triangle are exactly the same. On this longer tail piece, we're going to pull it a little bit and lengthen it. No excess flour. And then roll it onto itself. Oh my gosh, so cute. And have the tip of the tail on the bottom so that it just holds it under its own weight. You see that? Like that? And then give it a little tap. I love that. Little friendly bap. Now we're going to place it on a parchment lined baking pan, and for this size I'm just going to put 2 on one pan. What I've done already is created a proofing chamber. So we'll take a skillet and heat up a bunch of water until it comes to a boil. Then we put the skillet inside a cold oven, close it up, leave it in there. Place all of my croissants after I've covered them with a bit of plastic wrap and let them proof in that really warm, moist chamber. We want around 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Been a little over 2 hours since I placed my shaped dough croissants into my proofer chamber, and they are so stinking cute. Gently, gently peel back the plastic. Don't want to lose any of this jiggle jiggle. Once you get to this point where they're nice and poofy and jiggly, then you place the entire tray into the refrigerator for 20 minutes. This will slow down the fermentation and firm them up a little bit. So now we can paint them with a bit of egg wash. Now this is a combination of 1 egg yolk and 1 tablespoon of cream. We only want to paint the top parts. We don't want to get the sides here because we don't want to seal in these beautiful layers that will expand in the oven. And here we go. Gently, gently paint them. They're so cute. And then we're going to bake them for 20 minutes, and then we're going to turn them and bake them for another 10 to 15 minutes or until they're beautifully dark and golden. Ah, lovely! Look! The croissants are finished and they look spectacular. I am so pleased. They turned out so beautifully, so stinking perfect. I mean, they're perfection. Shiny, glossy, browned. They are still piping hot. They're best eaten within the first couple of hours of being made, but what goes better with croissants than a cup of coffee? So let's make one. For an espresso, a small size is 1.4 ounces, 2.7 for medium, and 3.7 for a large espresso. For coffee, a small is a 5 ounce, a medium is an 8 ounce, and a large is a 12 ounce. I think I'm going to go with a medium coffee. Place my capsule in here, close it. Now I'm going to press the size, medium, and here we go. Lovely. I do not get that in my usual cup of coffee. I don't. It's silky and smooth, perfect amount of bitterness for me. I drink my coffee black, so I don't like it overly bitter. I like it just right, but I like it assertive enough so it feels like I'm having coffee. Super hot, fast, convenient, easy, delicious. Already, the moment I have been waiting for 2 days. Here we go. Itadakimasu. Mmm. Mmm. sublime. Croissants are just a wonder. They are a beautiful combination of textures, flaky, crunchy, light, crisp, yet slightly chewy and bready, slightly. And of course the butter. You've got the decadent amount of butter. You've got this really great nutty, buttery flavor and just all around butter essence. So rich and delicious. All right. Oh, good. It's just falling apart. Let's cut it open and see how I did on the inside in terms of a honeycomb pattern of the bread structure. Can you hear that? Oh my gosh. I'll take that. I will take that. I see the swirl. I see the pockets. I see love and effort and deliciousness. If you follow Claire Saffitz's recipe to a T, you will be rewarded with this thing of utter beauty and deliciousness. Fantastic. Well done, Claire. Thank you. Big thanks to L'OR Coffee for sponsoring this video. If you want to learn more about the L'OR Barista system or find one for yourself, click the link down below for more information. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media, like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye! Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. I did it, I made croissants, I made croissants.